Well, good morning, everybody. Well, at least it's morning for me. Um, Welcome back to another tutorial. So I'm going to kind of start out slowly today. I just kind of woke up, so my brain is just starting to move. So I'm just going to kind of wing this. We're going to go through and do a spiral knot border today. Just a simple one. Just to kind of show you how to do that. I did a little bit of a fancy one ahead of time, as you can see. So you can do other types of spiral knots, things like this, something more circular, something more, I don't know, I guess you would say more Romanized. But anyway, we're going to start today with our grid. And let's see, I'm going to grab a pencil. So our grid for this spiral knot border is going to be 3 by 16. The 16 was arbitrary, but because that's what kind of fit on my paper, but it's kind of, you would kind of go by multiples of 4 to do a border. So let me show you. Now I did the grid. Let me just show you a little bit. So it's a 3 box by 16 box across grid. So you can see a little bit better in this diagram. You'll have a dot at each corner, and then you can just place a dot in the center of each box. Okay, so that just helps you visualize. Now when you do this, you were going to do this stuff lightly because, and I say this at every tutorial, do it lightly because you're going to erase. All of these dots and lines here will be erased. So, and let me make sure that's actually in the frame, right? So all of these dots and lines will be erased. Any breaks you put in will be erased. Having said that, it may not matter to you because you're probably more than likely going to take this and trace it onto another piece of paper and do your own thing with it, right? Put it on, paint it onto something, or wood burn it, or draw it, ink it, whatever. Anyway, you're not going to be leaving it on grid paper. But should you want to leave it on grid paper, draw these lightly so that they can be erased, especially as you work through your design so that they're not in your way and getting confusing. All right, so let's get back to our grid. All right, so we have a 3 by 16 grid. The next thing we need to do is put in the breaks. Now, this is kind of an already established design. So I was able to find a pattern where the breaks were put in so I could show you. But if you wanted to break it down, right, like reverse engineer it, if you take a look at the knot itself, what you would see is sort of an L shape here, right? A smaller L shape here. And then if you go over to this side of the spiral, it's sort of the opposite. L shape here and L shape here. So, it's flipped diagonally. Now, if you're joining 2 or more together, then you're going to have your L shape here for this one, this upside down L, and then you'll have an L shape here for your new knot, and put together they'll make like a Z, right? So that's kind of how you're going to visualize it. And let me just show you. So it looks like this. So you have your larger L, your little L, another little L, and then your larger L, which turns into a Z because this becomes an L. Right? And you just do that all the way across. It's going to be the same pattern all the way across. Okay? And then once you do that, then you're ready to move on. But let's do that for our little grid here. And I think I'm just going to freehand this. Forgive me if it's a little sloppy, but I am just going to go ahead and freehand this. And I'm sorry if my lines are wiggly. I do have tremors, so it's difficult for me anymore to do straight lines. But we have our first set of L's here. I guess I should do it darker for you so you can see it. Yeah, all right. Now we're gonna do our next set of L's here, leaving all right. So that's how we got our first knot. This will be the section here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 sections for each knot is kind of how it seems to work out. Actually, this break, it's more like here, all right, because this is the end of one knot and the beginning of another, which you'll see in a moment. All right, and I'm doing this quickly because I know what I'm doing. I did this already several times in preparation for this tutorial, but essentially your big L is going to be 2 boxes, or it's going to run between 3 blue dots, 3 of these blue dots that you see. And then your small ones will just be 1 box each. And then the space in between each of these will be 1 box. All right, so let's and how was everybody's holidays? Now that the holidays are over, if you're watching this right after the holidays, it's been very cold here the last couple of weeks. Unbelievably cold, below freezing for much of the last few days. And today we woke up to snow again. Lovely. Can you tell I don't like winter? Oops. All right, and then we're going to end it off. All right, for doing freehand, that's not too bad, right? All right, so we have our grid set up with our breaks, and here's a much neater version of that where I took my time with a ruler and all that. But anyway, it'll be erased eventually when you do your own. So, all right, what's next? We have our grid, we have our breaks. The next thing is we have to establish our line. Now there's a couple ways we can go forward, all right? So the one I did in the blog tutorial is I did a single line first and then went and drew parallel lines to the single line. I'm going to show you a different version. You can read my blog to see the other one, but I'm going to walk you through that real quick. Now, the next thing I do, or that I did with this particular design, was after I had my breaks put in, I marked out this entire diagonal in between these L's, okay, just because this is where each line crosses. This is where every line crosses right there, all right? So, and there's five places where they cross. So I marked it for my purposes. And then that made it easy for me to do the next step where I drew in my line, which was going to become the backbone for the thread, right? So the single line, so I marked out where they all cross, and this is where they all cross. I drew out my single line, and we're going to talk about the breaks in a minute when I move on to our today's grid. But we drew the single line, and then we drew the double line. This blue line in here represents the single line. We drew the double lines, and then when you get done drawing the double lines, you can go back and draw, erase this blue, your single line, which would be this blue line on here. And then the next step after that, once you have it cleaned up, would be to start your overs and unders. And then from there, it's just a matter of stylizing, cleaning it up, finalizing your lines, that kind of stuff. All right, but I'm going to do a slightly different way for this tutorial, just to show you different ways to do these things, right? All right, so I'm still going to start with where everything crosses over. Right, and let me get a lighter pencil since I drew the breaks really dark. Let me get a lighter pencil in here so that we can actually see the lines. All right, so if you take a look at this knot here, they all cross on the diagonal and they alternate. So this is over, under, this is under, over, under, over, and you get the idea, right? So we're going to use that as our example, and we're going to start here where this would cross, and we're going to put a double line here, and then there. So sort of X's, and then do the opposite at the next intersection, right? So it's going to be alternating. And then the long way here. Sorry, this is not the neatest. And one more. And again, I'm not worried about it being neat really, because this is going to be stylized. All right, so let's check ourselves. We have this line is over, it's under, it's over, it's under, it's over. Okay? And that's going to repeat itself all the way across the grid. So it'll be the same. It's the exact same pattern. It goes the exact same way all the way across. All right, so let's do that real quick. We're going to put those in that way. I'm not worried about being particularly neat at the moment because I've already done my works of art, right? You know, but when you do this, do it a little neater than I just did. I haven't really had, I say this every time because I have to do my videos early in the morning before I've really had a chance to wake up, because I have 5 people in my house. And this is the only time I have that's quiet enough for me to do a video. All right. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Not cheat, but I think it'll just be easier for me to, quicker for me to do this, rather than having to switch my brain. You know, I haven't even had a full cup of coffee today. I had a sip. That's it, a sip of coffee. So anyway, it's winter time here, and it sucks. I don't like winter. I have back pain and shoulder pain. I suffer from chronic pain, so wintertime is not my friend. It really isn't. I'm in a whole lot of pain, a lot. And last night snowed, so yesterday and today are not fun. Well, we survive, right? All right, so we've marked out all of our junctions, and now it's just a matter of filling in the threads. So you can start wherever. I'm going to start here, and I think today I'm just going to make it sort of boxy. I'm not going to do fancy just because I want to show you how it's done. So we can, and again, excuse my lines, they're probably not going to be the nicest today. So this line is going to, it would normally go this way, but you have a break here, so it can't. It has to turn. And it's going to follow that line down to this break. And it can't go any further than this break. So it has to turn, and it has to go that way. So we're going to go that way. Okay? And now, once you hit here, it's going to turn and it's going to go up here. And it can't keep going. So it's going to turn, and then it's going to turn again. Okay? And it'll go this way until it gets here. This is going to go down till it hits its break, and it's going to turn, and it's going to go here. All right, so you get the idea. And it's going to go this way. This has already been taken up, so it's going to go this way. I went up a little too far. And I think I was a little sloppy with my lines, but that's all right. We will fix that. Remembering that this goes this way. Okay. And then this goes that way. And then goes down that way. Until it hits here. And once it gets to here, now this, when you mark where everything crosses before you start, it does make it really easy for you because you've had everything figured out. The next step now is just to kind of draw your lines, right? All right, and then we go up because this is the border, so this is a break. So then we go up. And again, excuse my wobbly lines this morning. Hasn't been a great morning. All right, and then this will meet up right there. All right. This one, just kind of clean that up a little bit. This one, this thread's going to go this way, and it's going to meet up with the next thread. So you're going to go that way, and it's going to meet up right there with your next thread. This one down here is going to meet up with the bottom part of the next thread, right here. And when you draw your threads, try and make sure that they're about, you know, the same distance apart. Because remember, it is all one thread. It is supposed to be the same size going across. All right, so now we have one more or less done. So let's connect these, and then we're going to double check them. I'll clean it up a little bit as I'm connecting it. It's a beautiful part about drawing in pencil. You can go back and erase things. All right, so we have our under, over, under, over, and under. All right, and then I'm just going to go back and kind of darken that a little bit, make it look a little nicer, and I'm going to go around, make sure that where this one ends and this one begins, make sure they line up. Okay, because you want to make it look like it's a thread, right? You don't want it all wonky. And I'm just going over my lines. Some of these lines, this one I could have done a little better. We'll do that at a different angle. Yeah, that's better. That makes more sense. So now you can see that. And you get the idea. Working this one across the bottom. My brain's not quite in drawing mode this morning. Again, I'm sorry, I just woke up. It's the price I pay for being in a household full of people. And I just rocked the camera, I'm sorry. All right, so you're seeing where this is going. Let's do, I probably won't do the whole thing all the way across because I just wanted to kind of give you a basic idea. But let's do another one or two of these just so you can see where it goes, right? So let's do this L shape in here. I'll connect it up in a minute. Just do my L shapes. That's where I screwed up before. And then this one. And then across. And then the bottom one will go this way. All right, let's connect them. All right, so it went this way, it's going this way. We'll connect this. And we'll connect that. We'll keep on going. We're going to turn here, so we're going to connect this to this. We're going to turn and go this way, turn and go that way, turn and go this way. So we're going to connect to that, it's going to turn, go that way, turn, go this way, and then turn and go this way. So we're going to connect that to that. All right. Okay, so let's connect the center, and then we'll double check ourselves. All right, so it's this line is over. We'll check this line. This line is under, over, over, and under. So we're good. Let's clean up the lines. And I'm not sure where this particular kind of knot is found. I know that it's found on crosses, on like Celtic crosses, and it's probably found in manuscripts in some form or another. It is kind of a standard, and it's not just a Celtic thing. This spiral knot can be any culture, right? All right, so you get the idea then. So I'm not going to keep going with it because I think you get the idea, and when you get to the end, you're just going to be, it's just going to be the flip of this. Okay, so you just make sure that your overs and unders are appropriate. Make sure you are respecting the breaks, and yeah, then you can end up with something that's boxy like this. And this is, I don't know if you would say it's Roman or Greek, but some kind of old world style, right? You can make it more circular like this. I did this freehand, but you could use a French curve and make these specific pattern of curves. You could make them totally circular, and you might want to use like a compass for that, something like that. You could go more Celtic with it and give it, some flair. This isn't specifically Celtic, but it's got that kind of flair to it. I mean, you could go in here and really do up the whole Celtic thing. It's totally up to you what you do with it. But that's how you do a spiral knot. And I think the next video that I do is going to be, I'm thinking of doing a circular border with a spiral knot. I haven't quite made up my mind how that's going to look yet, or what I'm going to use it for. But, speaking of using these things, you can take this and use it as a drawing. You can paint it. You can put it on, if you're a crafter, you can put it on your, maybe some wood projects or something like that. You can do that. So there's a lot of different uses to this once you know what you're doing, right? It can be really fun. It can be a really nice way to just sort of finish a piece and give it a little bit of flair. Okay, so again, my next one will probably be something like a spiral knot. I'm not promising that, but I'm thinking that that's what it's going to be. But it's going to be a few weeks before that comes out. I usually do one of these once a month-ish, once every month and a half, something like that. There is an accompanying blog to this, which I will, if I remember, I will put the link in the description. If you don't see it there, just head on over to my website and you'll find all my Celtic tutorials on my blog, along with all of my other faux floral and DIY stuff. So you can find me on Patreon. It is a new page, new panel. So if you're wanting to support me further, I would really appreciate that. You can head on over to Patreon and you can find me there. It's $4 a month for videos that go a little bit more in depth. So like today I just did like a basic tutorial. If you were on my Patreon, maybe I would take this drawing and do something more complex with it, include some historical references to it, things like that. So that's what my plan is for that page. It's not anything spectacular at the moment. I haven't had long enough to build it, but it is something I hope to grow. So if you want to support me, you can support me there on Patreon. Those links will be in the description. Please like and subscribe to this, and follow me and share it, and you know, all that stuff. Comment down below what you think of this tutorial. Give me some idea of something that you might want to see me do. I can, you know, I'm always open to suggestions. So if there's something that you would like to see me show you how to do, I can do that. So yeah, just like and subscribe, share, follow, do all that nice stuff so that I can continue to grow this wonderful channel, because I'm over 1,000 now. And I know that doesn't sound much, but I only started a little under a year ago, not even. So yeah, I'm working really hard to try and build up this channel and build it into something. I may, from time to time, veer into DIYs and faux florals and things like that. I do fairy houses now, so you may see videos on my wooden fairy houses. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to stop ranting and raving and blubbering, and I'm going to get back to my coffee. And hopefully you like this tutorial, and hopefully you guys have a great day, and happy drawing. Bye-bye.